Hello everybody, GrayStillPlays, and I'm here today with another tutorial for you guys. This is a money-making tutorial. And the thing about this tutorial that's a little bit different than the other that I posted, or really most others, is that this is probably the easiest, simplest, safest, but also most mind-numbing way to make money in No Man's Sky. If you just want to sit down at your computer and like eat a sandwich or something and play the game with one hand because your other hand is occupied, I don't know, using a shake weight or something, you can do this and make a lot of money, and we'll do a little bit of stopwatch action to see exactly how much you can make. The very first thing that you want to do is you want to go over to your galactic terminal inside of any space station, and you want to see what they're buying for double the price. Now, I'm kind of unlucky here because there's really not that much except for dynamic resonators, but that's fine, I guess. You don't need them to be buying this for this to work at all. I'll show you that in a second. They're also buying titanium, which is good, but I would prefer them to be buying, like, I don't know, bypass chips or night crystals or something else. But we'll just make this work with dynamic resonators. Dynamic resonators are going to be the keystone for this trick. The reason why is because every single alien that lands at this port here inside of the space station must have at least one dynamic resonator on them. Now, there's a reason for that, and that is because if you didn't get any dynamic resonators from these aliens and you didn't have the blueprint to make it, you would be screwed. You would not be able to get anywhere in the game because you wouldn't be able to fix your warp drives if for some reason it became damaged. So obviously that's some sort of development reason there. But that is good for us because that means that no matter what, all of these different ships that land are going to have dynamic resonators on them. So let me just show you real quick what you're going to be doing. You're going to go up to each one of these ships as they land, and you're going to see the same bunch of ships landing over and over again. It looks like the NPCs are recycled. And you're going to go ahead and go over to buy items from the life form. And we're going to be looking for dynamic resonators. He happens to have one right here, so we'll go ahead and grab it. And he's buying titanium for double, so that makes us sad because that's not what we want to be doing. And we're done with him. Now, the other thing that you're going to be doing is this over and over again. We're just going to go over to this ship. This is McNuka, or whatever the hell the name is, and if I remember correctly, this guy's going to be selling 4 dynamic resonators. The interesting thing to note about these space stations is that the items are always the same. This guy always sells 4 dynamic resonators. The things that do change is the different little elements that they buy and sell, but that's only when you buy them out the first time. When you buy them out the first time, they don't seem to restock their elements, but if you leave the game and come back, they appear to restock their elements. So basically what you would do is after buying all of these different dynamic resonators, you would eventually find one of the aliens that would land here and would be buying them for double the price, and you would just sell your dynamic resonators to that alien, and then you would make, you know, 100% profit essentially. Now, this space station's a little bit kind of convenient, I guess, because there is the space station that's buying them at double. So if I wanted to, I could always sell them at double. But do note that there will always eventually be an alien that will buy these dynamic resonators at double. So you can use this even if the space station is not buying them. Let's go check our buy real quick here. He has 3 dynamic resonators, so let's buy all those as well. And there we go. So now let's take our ill-gotten gains here. Well, I guess we got them legitimately. Let us go over to the galactic trade area and sell them briefly. If you remember, I had about 4 million units to my name. But now we're going to go ahead and sell all of these dynamic resonators real fast. And we'll make about, well, you know, about half of what we're selling them for. So we should go right up to about 4.25 million units. And if you noticed, we did right about there. So the question is, how quickly does this method make you money? Well, pretty quick, I guess. I think that the main capstone to the method, though, is just how legitimately easy and simplistic it was. Like I said, there's not really that much to this. But what we'll do is we'll go ahead and put down a stopwatch real quick, and we'll wait for a couple of ships to land, and then we'll go ahead and sell them, and we'll see what we come up with. We'll do this for about 5 minutes, because I imagine that will roughly be right about maybe 1 level of sell time. That's just my estimation. So let's go ahead and start the timer right about, if I can get my timer going, right about now. There we go. So the timer's going. We're just kind of hanging out right now, waiting for the different ships to come in, and they will come in. Now, you may find that there are space stations that have all kinds of different things that they're buying for double the price besides dynamic resonator. And like I said, if you are fortunate enough to get those types of space stations, consider yourself lucky. You're going to be doing this a lot faster than I am. And if you remember, like I said, we can also sell titanium, but the very first time that you buy titanium off of these guys, it's going to go down to 0, and you're not going to be able to buy more of it again. Now, if you notice this ship here, it looks very, very familiar, doesn't it? There's a reason it looks familiar. It's because it's the Miniska guy again. There he is. Mutnika. Hello, Mutnika. What do you have to sell for us? Let me guess. 4 dynamic resonators at normal price, I gather. Let's take a look. Oh, what do you know? 4 dynamic resonators at normal price. I will buy them all, good sir. And while we're at it, I will buy all this titanium as well, because why the hell not? Let's sell it for double. And there we have it. While we're doing this, it looks like we've got one more gentleman coming in here. We've got 1 minute and 11 seconds on the clock right now that we've been doing this for, so no big deal. I hope you guys are all having a good day. I hope you're learning a lot about the game and how to ruthlessly break the economy. Which is something that I knew everyone was going to try and eventually do. Because if you haven't seen from my other videos, I love trading. So one of the very first things that I wanted to learn how to do was essentially learn how to make a ton of money as quick as possible. Oh, this one looks very, very similar. It looks very similar to the other NPC that we just met. That's because they're the exact same NPC. Isn't this odd? It's like he's time traveling or something. He's over there, and yet he's over here as well. Let's go ahead and buy more of these items from him. Another single dynamic resonator. I guess I should see if he has titanium. He does. Let's go ahead and buy all this as well. And while we're doing this, in fact, we could probably buy the rest of the titanium from this guy while we're waiting for additional ships to go ahead and land. Because he as well should have, what was it, 36 pieces of titanium? You can see right here, it is in fact the exact same guy. Now, unfortunately, the dynamic resonators don't regenerate each time you click on these people. So, man, that looks like a very, very similar ship that just landed. What could it all mean? Who could it possibly be? Look, it's Keyrust yet again. 2 minutes and 32 seconds left. We're going to keep going on here. Let's go ahead and buy items from him. Like I said, we will be buying more dynamic resonators. Now, watch this. If we go over to titanium, it has restocked again, but I'm wondering if this is just because he's existing inside of the trade terminal in 2 different places at once. So we've got another ship landing right about here. Looks like one of the very first ships that we saw. I believe, did this guy have 3 dynamic resonators for sale, if I remember correctly? Let's take a look. This is Ivzluliak, if you remember. But that's kind of one of the things about this game, is you're always going to get the same couple of NPCs come in. There'll be a different one every once in a while. But let's go ahead and see here. He has 1 dynamic resonator. We'll go ahead and grab that. Do you have any titanium? Oh, you're buying it for double. So if we wanted to, I guess we could sell it to him, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So we're at 3 minutes and 30 seconds. We'll see if we can get one more ship. I would like to get one more ship to try and buy an additional dynamic resonator. Ooh, we've got someone coming in here and with no time to spare. 3 minutes and 41 seconds. Let's see what this lovely alien happens to have on his ship. If it's one of the ships that we saw before. Oh, we got 2 ships coming in, guys. All right, we might go a little bit past 5 minutes here. Let me see how quickly I can buy crap from... Oh, we know that guy right there. And we know this guy right here as well. Go ahead and buy real quick. Should have 1 dynamic resonator on them. Now, like I said, right now, all these guys happen to be selling dynamic resonators for normal price, but you will eventually find an alien that will be selling it. Or rather, buying it for double price that you could sell it to, just in case your space station was not selling dynamic resonators at double price. We just kind of got lucky because our station is doing it for double price. Let's go ahead and buy this last dynamic resonator from Keyrust yet again. I've done a lot of trading with you, Scholar Entity. So good to meet you yet again. Let's go ahead and buy one of these right here. And we are done. We're at 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to buy any additional things. So let's go ahead over here to the trading area and see exactly what we're going to make. We got 4 minutes and 53 seconds. So it looks like we're going to make it just in time. And all right, so right at 5 minutes now, let's take a look at what we're at. We are at 3.9, and if you remember, we were at 4.25 when we started. So let's go ahead and sell all 10 of these. And we'll go ahead and sell all this titanium as well, because it does technically count. So we went from 4.25 to 4.5. So we made 250,000 units in 5 minutes. So you're making roughly about 2.5 million units every 50 minutes. So, you know, you'll make roughly 3 million units every hour, and for no work, essentially. I mean, like I said, realistically, if you needed to do something, I don't know, around the house or around your area, and you just didn't have time to be looking through caves or fighting off sentinels and utilizing elements and things of that nature, you could just do this and just sit here and continue to trade as much as you wanted, and that's it. I mean, it's the easiest and safest units you can possibly make that I found at this time. Anyway, guys, if you know of an easier and even safer way to make units where you really don't have to find, like, the planet for venom sacks, or you don't have to find the planet for Greftrino balls or whatever have you, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Until the next time, folks, stay foxy and much love.